Inflation is a term that is commonly used in economics to describe the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services in an economy is rising over a period of time. It is one of the most important economic indicators because it affects the purchasing power of money, the profitability of businesses, and the overall health of the economy. In this video, we will explore what inflation is, the causes of inflation, and its effects on the economy and individuals. Inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services in an economy is increasing. It is usually expressed as a percentage change in the price level over a period of time, such as a year. Inflation is typically measured using an inflation index, which tracks the prices of a basket of goods and services over time. The most commonly used inflation index is the Consumer Price Index, CPI, which measures the prices of a basket of goods and services purchased by households. There are two types of inflation: demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. Demand pull inflation occurs when there is too much money chasing too few goods and services, which leads to an increase in demand for these goods and services and an increase in their prices. Cost push inflation, on the other hand, occurs when the cost of production increases due to factors such as rising wages, higher raw material costs, or higher taxes, which leads to an increase in the prices of goods and services. When the demand for goods and services increases, and the supply cannot keep up, the prices of these goods and services will rise. Once the cost of production increases, such as higher wages or raw material costs, businesses will increase their prices to maintain their profit margins. When there is too much money in circulation, the purchasing power of each unit of currency decreases, leading to higher prices for goods and services. After the value of a currency decreases relative to other currencies, the prices of imported goods and services will increase, leading to inflation. Inflation can encourage people to spend their money instead of saving it, which can stimulate economic growth. It can increase the profitability of businesses by allowing them to raise their prices and maintain their profit margins. Inflation can reduce the real value of debt over time, making it easier for people and businesses to pay off their debts. Inflation reduces the purchasing power of money, which means that people can buy fewer goods and services with the same amount of money. Inflation can discourage people from saving their money because the value of their savings decreases over time. It can lead to uncertainty about future prices, which can make it difficult for individuals and businesses to plan for the future. If inflation becomes too high, it can lead to hyperinflation, which can destroy an economy by making it impossible for people to buy goods and services, leading to social unrest and economic collapse. Governments and central banks use a variety of tools to control inflation, including 1. Monetary policy. Central banks can control inflation by adjusting interest rates, which can influence borrowing and lending, and the money supply, which can affect the purchasing power of money. 2. Fiscal policy. Governments can control inflation by adjusting taxes and government spending, which can affect the demand for goods and services. 3. Supply-side policies. Governments can also control inflation by implementing policies that increase the supply of goods and services, such as reducing regulations that impede business growth or investing in infrastructure to improve productivity. 4. Wage and price controls. Governments can also implement wage and price controls, which limit the amount that businesses can charge for goods and services or the amount that workers can be paid, but this can lead to unintended consequences, such as shortages and black markets. In summary, inflation is an important economic indicator that affects the purchasing power of money, the profitability of businesses, and the overall health of the economy. While some inflation is necessary for economic growth, too much inflation can have negative effects on individuals and the economy. Governments and central banks have various tools to control inflation, but it requires a delicate balance between stimulating economic growth and keeping inflation under control. Understanding the causes and effects of inflation is essential for individuals and policymakers to make informed decisions about economic policy.